In a world that's always screaming, the more the merrier, have you ever felt like you're just not on the same page? We're constantly told that a packed social life is the secret to happiness, but for a lot of us, that's just not how it works. So today, we're going to dive deep into the psychology behind having just a few close friends, or even preferring your own company, and why it might not be a weakness at all, but a sign of some serious inner strength.
Okay, picture this. You're at a party, maybe a work thing. The room's buzzing, everyone's laughing. But as you tune into the conversations around you about the weather, some random celebrity, what they ate for lunch, you just feel this disconnect, right? It's like you're trying to have a real, meaningful conversation, but everyone else is speaking a different language. That feeling? That's not you being awkward, it's a clue that something deeper is going on.
And that's when that little question starts to creep in, usually when you're alone. Is there something wrong with me? I mean, we are just bombarded with these images online and in movies of big, happy friend groups. It creates this idea that to have a good life, you need a full social calendar. And when yours doesn't look like that, it is so easy to feel like you're failing some basic, unspoken test of being human.
This leads us right to this really common and frankly kind of lazy myth that if you have few friends, you must be antisocial or awkward or just broken in some way. It's this simple label that gets slapped onto something that is way more complex. But that whole assumption just completely misses the point. What if having a smaller circle isn't about a lack of social skills, but about having a totally different and maybe even more demanding set of social priorities?
This is where psychology gives us a completely different way to look at it. What if having just a few friends isn't a sign that you're broken, but a sign that you are just wired for depth? That your brain isn't optimized for quantity, but for quality, for real, meaningful connection. And because of that, all the noise from shallow socializing just feels exhausting. It's not about being deficient, it's about operating on a different frequency.
So what's really going on here? Well, the first big piece of the puzzle isn't that you're pushing people away. It's that you have this incredibly high, finely tuned filter. You're not just looking for someone to fill the silence. You're looking for a genuine spark. And that whole search starts with what feels like an almost allergic reaction to anything fake. See, the more you know yourself, your real values, your passions, what you will and won't stand for, the less patience you have for anything that doesn't feel true. Your BS detector is just off the charts. You can spot inauthenticity a mile away. Someone wearing a social mask, pointless gossip, or someone trying to manipulate a situation. And honestly, you would much rather sit in comfortable silence by yourself than suffer through the noise of a conversation that just feels like a performance. And this really gets to the heart of it. On one side, you've got the world of small talk. Those conversations that just skim the surface and can actually leave you feeling more alone than you were before. But on the other side, you've got deep connection. That's where you can talk about big ideas, share real feelings, and truly see and be seen by another person. For you, anything less than that feels like watching a movie in black and white when you know it's supposed to be in full, brilliant color. So let's be super clear here. This is not about avoiding people. It is about avoiding superficiality. You're not a collector of acquaintances, you're a connoisseur of connection. You just get that one single, authentic, soul-bearing conversation is worth 1,000 empty pleasantries. You'd rather wait for the real deal than settle for a cheap imitation.
This selectivity creates what you could call a trust threshold. And a lot of the time, that's a wall we build, sometimes from past hurts. If you've been let down or betrayed by people who were supposed to have your back, you naturally learn to be more careful. It's a survival instinct. You become a quiet observer, and you make people earn their way into that sacred space of your inner circle. It's not about being cold. It's about protecting your peace. But it's not just about having high standards. There's another huge piece of this puzzle, and it's all about something you might not even realize you're constantly managing: your social energy. For a lot of us, social interaction isn't an endless resource. It's a finite battery that you have to spend wisely. And this isn't just a feeling. It's a real psychological trait. Some of us just have nervous systems that are more sensitive. That means when you're in a social setting, your brain is in overdrive. You're not just hearing the words, you're processing the tone, the facial expressions, the body language, the unspoken vibe in the room. It's like you're running this complex social analysis software in the background at all times. And that, as you can imagine, takes up a ton of energy.
So let's think of it like a social battery. When you wake up or before you head out, you might be at a full 100%. You're feeling good, charged up, open to connecting. Your tank is full.
But here's the key difference. For an extrovert, socializing can actually charge their battery up. For you, it's more like running your phone on low power mode while trying to stream a 4K movie. Every little interaction draws on that reserve. And if it's a particularly draining situation, like forced small talk at a networking event, you can go from fully charged to 40% in no time. It's why you can feel like you just ran a marathon after a 2-hour party, while other people are just getting started.
And this is exactly why solitude becomes your superpower. It's not about being antisocial, it's about being strategic. You absolutely need that quiet time alone to plug back in, to let your whole system reboot, and to get back to 100%. This is a radical act of self-care. It's not a rejection of other people. You're just honoring your own wiring and protecting your energy.
Now, when you put all this together, the high standards, the careful energy management, the need for solitude, it cultivates this incredibly powerful strength, a deep sense of self-reliance. You learn that you can be your own safe harbor. You learn that you've got everything you need to be okay right inside you.
Psychologists call this low social dependency, and it's a total game changer. It basically means you're not constantly looking outside yourself for other people to fill a void, or to quiet your anxiety, or to tell you you're good enough. You have this rich, vibrant inner world full of ideas, creativity, and passions that you can tap into anytime you want. You are your own source of entertainment and comfort.
Now, this kind of independence can sometimes be misunderstood. People might see it as you being distant or aloof. But what it really is a quiet confidence. It's the ability to walk into a room and not need everyone to like you. It's the freedom to make your own choices, to trust your gut, and to build a life that feels authentic to you, not one that's designed to get applause from everyone else.
So let's completely reframe this whole picture. This isn't a list of social problems, it's a list of your superpowers. That preference for solitude, that's the fertile ground where your creativity grows. Your constant observation of people, that's what gives you that razor-sharp intuition, that incredible BS detector. And your careful filtering of who you let into your life, that is the very thing that leads to a level of self-awareness that most people spend a lifetime searching for. So the next time that little voice of doubt starts whispering in your ear, I want you to remember this. Having a small social circle doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're whole. It means you have incredibly high standards for connection and a quiet confidence that doesn't need a crowd to feel valid. You value quality over quantity, authenticity over performance, and your own inner peace over constant social noise. And that is a beautiful thing.
And I'll just leave you with this final thought. We live in a world that so often confuses solitude with loneliness. But what if we've got it all backward? What if the person who is truly comfortable walking their own path alone is the one who is most deeply connected to themselves, to their values, and to the world in a way that is far more meaningful than any crowd could ever offer? What if walking your own path isn't a sign of being left behind, but is actually the clearest sign of a truly strong and brilliant mind?
Like, comment, and share this video. Subscribe my channel now. Thank you for watching.